Hello everybody, my name is Theo, and today I'm going to take you along with me as I make my first coffee of the day. It's approximately 7 p.m. It's about prime time for a coffee, I think. Come a little closer. So, the first thing you want to do is grab one of your 3 portafilters. Today we're using this one with the screen to see a nice flow. Okay? And you want to heat up your espresso machine, which I've already done. I wonder if you can hear the insertion and me taking out the portafilter. So, once your machine is heated up, we need to go on to stage 2, which is puck preparation. Well, perhaps you would include grinding your beans in puck preparation, but maybe you wouldn't. But we're going to grind our beans. Oh my god. If you guys could smell this right now, you would be in heaven with me, because these are some Chinese Yunnan black sheep double anaerobic natural process. I think it's a medium roast from Island, perhaps the best roaster in North Dallas. Okay? This shit is amazing. We're gonna grind up. This is my grinder. There is a manual grinder, but that's for use with a different bean. This is my electric Müller. It's from the country of Austria. Perhaps it's from Wien, the capital, but who knows exactly where in Austria. But they do have the Austrian flag. So, you want to dial in your grinder to an appropriate setting for espresso. That should be about right. And then add a dose of beans to the hopper. That should be enough. Make sure to be diligent and thoroughly reseal your beans so that they don't get stale. If you have a good bag of beans, it should have a one-way air valve to help with thoroughly sealing it. If your beans are in perhaps a paper bag, like a brown paper bag, I'd recommend seeking alternative bean storage methods. Notice how I squeezed the air out through the one-way valve. And now we will engage the burr of our grinder and grind the beans. It makes a great noise. I just realized an oversight in our preparation. I forgot to mist the beans before grinding, which helps to reduce clumping, reduce the static attraction of the grounds. Hopefully you won't forget this step like I so unfortunately did, but we do have a plethora of tools for ground distribution, so we should be safe with this shot. But do keep that in mind if you're following along at home, please. They smell even better ground. So, if you could inspect these grinds, if we had sprayed the whole beans before grinding with just a little bit of mist, there would be less clumpage, okay? Take note of that. So now, we're going to grab one of our many portafilters. Again, I'm using the one with the screen so that we get a nice shot of the flow. We're going to take this base of our distributor and insert it. This will help us keep everything neat and contained, and also align our distributor when we are ready to make use of it. And we're going to add a dose of grounds into the portafilter. I'm not using a scale. I find the scale, it kind of deters from the art of this practice. I mean, unless you're trying to do something precise, dial in some beans. I find with espresso, I like to just freehand my dosing. I mean, some days I'm feeling like having like 10 grams more of grounds, you know. I just need that extra stimulation. But I think without the scale, it's much more of an art form. But you can use a scale if you so desire. So now, we're just going to tap the portafilter. Doing some preliminary distribution before we make use of, first of all, our WDT tool. Again, that is Vice Distribution Technique Tool. It consists of a number of spines that we will poke the grounds with to declump them. And if you do not have a Vice Distribution Technique tool, I suggest you don't forget to mist your beans before grinding, to just ensure a lack of clumping. I'm going to tap once again. And then I'm going to go in with this proper distributor tool, get a good look at it. And it is apologies for the mispronunciation. It is magnetized with its base. So there should be a nice click. And then we twist. Strange. This is my first time using this base and distributor. you actually, the base is magnetized to the portafilter, quite the oversight. And you do not use the base, it seems, when using the distributor, because it doesn't reach the grounds. But just to be diligent, let me show you the magnetic click of the base. It's very satisfying and fulfilling. Now without the base, I'm going in with the distributor. Beautiful. Look, without even tamping the grounds, it perhaps looks as though it's been tamped. You might be fooled, but now, despite its appearance, of course, the most important part of puck preparation is the tamp. This tamp is stainless with an iron core. If you were here right now with me, I would let you hold this and feel the heft. You know, that will get us a nice tamp. So I need 2 hands for this to keep the ground straight, level as I tamp. This is very important. Because of the virtue of our distribution, there is little appearance change between a tamped puck and an untamped puck, but the even pressure that you apply while tamping is very necessary, or else when the 9 bars of pressure from your machine are applied to the puck, it would just not be structurally sound to accept the extraction. Now come closer, and I will insert the portafilter into my DeLonghi espresso machine. Beautiful insertion. And now, hold on a moment, I need to grab some glassware. It's very necessary to pull your shot into a beautiful piece of glassware. It affects the flavor immensely. I have quite the piece in mind, if I can find it. I don't know quite how it's eluding me so effectively. I have multiple. Let me wash this. Now, I'm making sure to use warm water while washing so that the cup is pre-warmed to accept our warm coffee. Hot, even, is how it should be extracted. So, in this small saga of glassware searching, perhaps this was intentional because now it has led us to having a warm glass, which is never a bad thing. Perhaps, it can only help. You definitely don't want a cold glass, that's for sure. I think we're ripe for a prime extraction. Come in here. Let me showcase the glassware first. This is Duralex, made in France. Any coffee shop worth its salt would consider acquiring these to serve their glassware, serve their coffee in this glassware. It's just classic, very fine glassware. Now let us extract. I went terribly wrong. It's not supposed to look like that. What the fuck? I think. It actually tastes well. It did not look very aesthetic. This is my first time using this portafilter with this machine. It might be that, I mean, it fits. I don't know, it looked so messy. I thought it would taste poorly extracted. It actually tastes pretty good. I'm not going to make another one, but I'm going to need to experiment with this portafilter. Because that was not up to par with what I was expecting, to be honest. But it does taste good. This is a good extraction of this. Again, China Yunnan black sheep, double anaerobic natural process. A beautiful bean. And yeah, here, let's taste it together. It's very sharp, very bright and warm. On the head, it's nice and acidic, nice and bitter, very fruity. I don't really like to look at the notes on the bag because I feel like that takes away from the experience of tasting it yourself, you know? If they put anything on there, like they could put 1970s shag carpet from a smoker's apartment, and you would taste that, you know? It's like you'll manifest the taste of anything if the bag tells you that's what it tastes like. But I'm tasting, let me see. Oh wow. It's almost indescribable. It just tastes like China. You know, it's so Chinese that it's almost like tea. The front is not so bold. It's just sort of a bit of acidity, a bit of bitterness. But that acidity and bitterness builds. But so does this more robust flavor on the back. You know, the front doesn't taste as typical. Neither does the middle or the back of the taste. But in the back, it starts to taste more like an espresso. But this is a very unique bean that I quite enjoy. After our extraction, because we want to make things easier for ourselves in the future, I often don't do this. For instance, when I'm making my coffee before class, because I'm in a rush. But to make things easier, again, for ourselves in the future, we want to knock out our puck right after extraction while it's still wet. You don't want to wait for it to harden, you know. It becomes more difficult to clean. Here's the puck post-extraction. I don't know if you can tell, but there's still some steam coming off of it. That's how you know you've got your machine up to temp. And now, into the knock box. Beautiful. Now I'm going to rinse this. And again, well, not again, I didn't mention this yet, but when you're drying your portafilter after rinsing it, perhaps don't even wipe it dry. But if you do wipe it dry, you don't want to wipe it. Perhaps that was a misuse of words. You want to dab it dry. Because if you wipe, you'll get fibers from the towel into the metal screen, which is not good. So yeah, but that is it for this video, and I've been Theo. This has been my coffee, and I wish all beings on earth serenity, tranquility, and peace.